Yeah, I mean, if I want to link it to the business, the resource group could be a department, finance, or what is exactly, or it is something related to the technology.
See, let's say you have 5 VMs for development, 5 VMs for production, and 5 for testing.
Yeah.
So you will create 3 resource groups: development, production, and testing, let's say.
Okay.
And in the development resource group, you will put all the resources, 5 your development VMs, your storage accounts, your development databases, everything inside that resource group. Now, do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes, that's how resource group are. And I've shared the subscription limits and quotas document in your chat. This we have already gone through. What is the Azure hierarchy? So we can bypass this. Now there is something called as tagging. Now let's say whenever you go to any store, like you go to Nike, let's say you want to buy a t-shirt there. You see a t-shirt and you see a tag associated with that product. What information does that tag have? The name of the product with the separated with a colon, like it's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Then the size, let's say it's medium, and all that, other information like cost and etc. And finally, you have a barcode, right? Something with a random number. How does this tag help you? How does it help you out?
The tag?
Yes, the tag.
Reference, maybe?
Yes. To gain the metadata information of the product, I would say, right? To gain information about the product, what's the name, color, size, and etc. The metadata. And we know it's a t-shirt, but what is the metadata associated with that t-shirt? And how does this tag help the cashier? Have you seen that the cashier basically scans this QR code, this barcode using a scanner tool, right?
Yeah, it's scan the barcode. Yeah,
and once they scan the barcode, every piece of information gets displayed on their screen.
That's correct.
So it helps them in billing, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
What if I say we can also tag our resources? Let's say I've got 3 VMs and 3 databases in my Azure portal. I don't know how to distinguish between them. This VM is for production, this is for development, this is for testing.
Yeah.
Same for this as well. So what I can do is I can assign a tag to these VMs. Let's say the tag would be like environment, production.
Yeah.
Again, environment, development.
Right.
Environment, testing. That's tagging. I can hack. So this is nothing but a key value pair. Key value, key value, key value. Separated by a colon.
Yeah.
Right? So this is the key. Owner is Joe. Again, value is Joe. Key is department, value is marketing. Environment is the key, production is the value. So key value pair. That's tagging. It's very useful for rolling up billing information.
And sorry, what is the hierarchy here? Honor, department, environment.
There's no hierarchy. No, they have just used an example.
Yeah.
No hierarchy.
You mean that I can put any name? It's up to me.
Any name, anything, any custom choice.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay.
Well, sometimes it will be confusing because it will not be based on any reference, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So always create tags that are unique.
And who do the tag? The system admin or the user? He can do the tag.
It can be the admin only. Yes, admin.
Only the admin. Okay.
Yes, only the admin. Okay. So that's tagging and.
And so sorry, saying where we search for the tagging. For example, I want to know.
Okay. Yeah, let me show you. I was about to show you only, but
okay. Here and there. My apology.
No worries at all. So let's say first I'll show you how to host a resource group. The very beginning.
Yeah.
So I'll go to resource groups, click on create. We'll name it as RG, go RG1, let's say. Choose your region where you want to host it. I'll stick with East US. Next is the tags. I want to give it a tag as environment. The value I'll keep it as production. I can host multiple tags if I want, but I'll just stick with one. And hit review. And let's create this and see what happens. Here's the resource group that I created. Yeah. Now I created a tag as well. So let's here search for tag. Can you see that tag appears here?
Yeah.
The number of tags you create, they will start appearing here in the form of a list. So I want to see what resources are there for production environment. Click on this and it's showing me there's one RG. If there were VMs, load balancers, anything that.
Sorry, my apology. Is it possible to increase the? I'm trying to because the screen is very small. Is there any way that I can increase it?
I can create what?
The screen is very small.
Do you want me to zoom in?
Yeah, if you can, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so see here, I can see this is the tag, environment protection.
Yes, thank you.
Click on this, it will show me what all resources are being tagged with this tag. Okay, so that's tagging. Now there's one more very important thing I wanted to show you is, if I go back, let's say this is the resource group, RG1 that I just created. Now I don't want any accidental deletions of this resource group. Someone cannot delete this resource group.
Yeah.
So there is something called as locks. So go to
Okay.
locks here. There are two types of locks, read only and delete lock. So let's
Okay.
say I'll create a delete lock. Means no one can delete this resource group. Doesn't matter he's an admin or whatever. I created it. Let's test it out. I'll try to delete this resource group. This delete. I'll copy the name for the confirmation.
Yeah.
Enter it here. Hit delete. And again. Will it delete? No.
No.
It says RG1 is locked and cannot be deleted.
Okay.
That's resource group lock. Second type of lock is read only. What if I don't want anyone to read the contents of this resource group? What are the resources? Sorry, I just want him to read the content, not create any other resources, not
Yeah.
delete anything, not change anything, just read access. For that, we
Yeah.
have second type of lock, which is read only. And those are resource group locks. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, a very important concept that we are going to share, we are going to discuss how to manage and optimize costs on your Azure environment. As an Azure administrator, it's our responsibility to keep the costs as low as possible. So what are some strategies? Let's go over it. First thing is costs are resource specific. What does
Yeah.
it mean? If I'm hosting a VM, I might be paying $100 for a month. If I'm hosting a database, I might be paying $50 for a month. So it depends. Cost is always resource specific. The first point.
Yeah.
Usage costs may vary between locations. Now, what does it mean? I'm hosting a VM in Canada and I'm paying $100 for a VM. I'm hosting the same VM in US. I might be paying $150. So again, costing depends. It varies between locations.
This is
Third,
very confusing. Very confusing.
so what is confusing?
I mean, the billing of the
Ah,
cloud. Yeah, the billing.
Sometimes yes, sometimes it is. Okay. Third point says costs for inbound and outbound data transfers differ. Means if we are talking about storage, if
Yeah.
you are updating some file or you are exporting some files, so import export cost also matters. That's difference. Then there is something called as Azure reserved instances. That's very important. Do you know what's RI, reserved instance? Ever heard about it?
Sorry, can you say it again?
Reserved instance. Do you know what is it?
No.
See, whenever you are trying to procure a VM to host a VM, you get certain price models.
Yeah.
Okay. So first is you have pay as you go. Means you can just pay monthly. Simple. Second thing is, let's say you are aware that you need this resource reserved for 1 year or 3 years. So with this reserved instance, you can basically, sign an agreement with the Microsoft. You can sign an agreement that I'll be using, you can commit that I'll be using this resource for 1 or 3 years straight, and Azure gives you discounts that range somewhere between 35% to 65%.
Okay.
I'll show you how it is. I'll show you. So that's a reserved instance. Okay, an agreement.
Yeah.
Then what if I say further, let's say you as a company, as you told me that a company is trying to migrate to Azure, let's say you just procured Windows Servers 2022 licenses.
Yeah.
And now your company says we are going to move to Azure. Don't you think this license will go waste? Because on Azure, you not only rent the VM, the hardware, you also rent out the
Yeah.
license cost. But what if I say you can use this Windows Server license on Microsoft Azure? Save you
Yeah.
cost, right? So that is what we call it as Azure Hybrid Benefit, AHB. Now, a pro tip from my side is whenever you want to use AHB, you need to take software assurance along with this Windows license. That is, type of an insurance for your license.
Yeah.
Software assurance. Okay, you need to have that. Last point says you can optimize with alerts, budgets. Means you can create alerts, budgets. You can decide budgets in your Azure portal. Like if my subscription exceeds $1,000 in a month, send me alert. That's alerts and budgets. There is a tool which is Azure Advisor, which gives you recommendations. What type of recommendations you would ask? I created a VM thinking that a lot of users will visit this VM. So I chose a high-end configuration, which is 16 cores of CPU and 16 gigabytes of RAM. But later on, what I discussed, what I saw, that there was no traffic coming to this VM. Azure advisor will recommend scale it down. That's doing its job. Okay. So those are some of the strategies how we manage costs on Microsoft Azure. And for this, if you want to get a price estimate, I've got an amazing website for this as well, which is pricing calculator. You know about this?
No, that's good. I don't know about it.
So I'll share that website with you. I'll just demonstrate how to estimate a pricing. Let's say you're new to Microsoft Azure and you are willing to host a VM.
Yeah.
So this is the website shared with you in the chat.
Thank you.
See, this is the website.
Yeah.
Here, let's say I want to host a VM. I'll add it to the estimate. It will ask you certain things like where the region that you want to host this VM, what's the operating system you need, tier, category, what's the size of the VM, and for how much days or months or hours you want to host it. Let's say I want to host it for 1 month. The pricing I'm paying as of now is 137 US dollars, right? The moment I choose 1 year reserved instance, just keep an eye on the pricing. See that?
Yeah.
Now it is $108. And if I go with 3 year reserved instance, I'm paying $94. Now, if I exclude the license cost as well, if I'm making use of AHB, you see
Yeah.
the pricing is 26.89. That's how you play with the pricing part here. Okay.
And what is the AHP again? Sorry.
Azure Hybrid Benefit
Okay.
means using your own licenses on Azure.
Okay.